About 25 years ago, I went off grid for two reasons. One, childish. I was told you couldn't do that. And so like a child, I wanted to do it. And secondly, I have this gut instinct that we need to show as much love as we can to Earth.
Recycling water is becoming very, very important at the moment because a scarcity of clean water in certain areas, climate change affects the water supplies, and therefore we will be at a point where we need clean and a sustained flow of water for an increased population in this planet. The cost of reusing water is becoming comparable of using potable water. And therefore, there are incentives, environmental incentives, to use or to reuse water at home. What Michael Mops has demonstrated is that it is possible to reuse water with current technologies. You require space to have storage, and therefore I don't know if that technology can be expanded to every single home or family in populated cities.
And then if you compare the two solutions, so everybody being self-sufficient versus everybody having maybe rooftop solar on the roof, maybe a battery in the garage, while still being connecting to the main grid for the sake of reliability, which option is cheaper? And it's quite obvious that still using the main grid in Sydney and other big cities, other populated areas, is still cheaper.
At no cost to the water supplier, there's more water left in the dam. There's less sewage to take away. I've paid for that. Secondly, at no cost to the energy companies, I'm using the energy that comes from the sky. And what's apparent now, particularly from South Australia, which is leading the way in using the sun and wind, energy prices are going down because some days 60% of the electricity on the grid there is coming from the sky or from the wind. So this is the way for us all.
Water is such a precious resource. Simple. It's why waste it? Yeah. It's usually $1,200 a month, and now it's $700 a month. You try to do it for altruistic reasons, but also it's always going to be money that drives it, and I think that's what's driven the big change to solar, is it's now feasible.
The question now becomes, how do we deal with this intermittency of rooftop solar? And this is where we have to start looking at the problem holistically. So we have to look at the whole energy mix. If you just focus on your house and try to answer the question, so what should I do to meet my energy demands, you will get a solution that is not optimal from a social perspective.
It's really important that people don't say, we have a sustainability policy. It matters nothing. What matters is that they give people financial and bureaucratic incentives to change the way they use energy and water and the way they can reduce their individual living costs and their individual pollution.